Hi everybody and welcome back. I hope your week is off to a great start. I'm coming to you live here from sunny South Florida. What I'd like to do this time is talk to you a little bit about the mechanics on the forehand. We're going to break it down into two parts. I'm going to post the first part this week. We're going to talk a little bit about the grip, the stance, the initial unit turn, and how to make sure that you're biomechanically hitting that ball the best way possible. So let's get right to it. So when we're talking about the initial stages on the forehand, the very first thing we want to look at is the grip. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on telling you exactly what each grip looks like, but I do want to tell you just the broad strokes of it. The best grips for the forehand are the Eastern grip, which is the shake hands grip, or the semi-Western grip, which would be just like you're picking the racket up off the ground. Both of these grips put your hand behind the grip in a good solid fashion so that you can absorb the shock and drive your hand through the ball correctly. So the Eastern grip, semi-Western grip are the two best ones. I would absolutely avoid the full Western grip. It's going to make your swing path a little bit too altered from what you want to do and give you a little bit too much spin. So let's work on those two grips as being your primary grips. So the very first thing we want to do, assuming that we're starting from a good ready position, is a good strong unit turn. And the whole process is kicked off by making a good solid unit turn. Too often what I see out here on the court is people wait a little bit too long to quote unquote get the racket back, and by the time the ball is bouncing now, the racket is still in front, the weight is then going to be going backwards on contact in the wrong way, and it's going to affect everything else. It's going to affect the balance, the contact, the follow through, and the recovery. So the whole ball of wax is set off with a good solid unit turn. So left hand can either be on the throat, or if you play a two-handed backhand, you might want to start with your left hand on the grip itself. So key move, when you make that first initial move for the forehand, we're going to make the unit turn, we're turning the shoulders, the hips, and the racket is going back all at once. It's not the racket independent from the body, it's not the shoulders turning and the racket staying in front, it's everything happening at once. So as that ball comes in, I want to get my shoulders sideways, racket head is going to be above the wrist, the left arm or the non-hitting arm is going to be slightly across the body at about a 3 o'clock position. So I make that good initial turn, right arm is back, left arm is at 3 o'clock here. That is the most important move when you're going to try to hit a good solid forehand. Now, some pros out there will tell you to get the racket back down low, and I'm not going to tell you it's the wrong way. I'm just going to tell you there's a better way. You will not see any good player, whether it's a good junior, a good college player, a great club player, or a professional. You're not going to see anybody out there dropping the racket head straight down. It just doesn't happen. Maybe if the ball's coming in fast, that might be an exception. But pretty much straight across the board, every single solitary good player, when they make that unit turn, the racket head is going to be a little bit above the wrist. In part two, we're going to explain exactly why that's so important. But for this part, what we want to just focus on again is a good solid grip, a good solid shoulder turn, making sure the left arm is across the body, the racket head is up, and real key, the elbow should be away from the body. If the elbow is close to the body here, two things can happen. Number one, the racket can go to the wrong side of your body. It's very important to keep that racket head on the outside of your body, or if you're right-handed, on the right side of your body. We shouldn't see your racket on the other side. The second thing is if the elbow is too close to the body, you're going to tend to smother the contact point and come across a little too quickly. So let's recap again. We're looking for a good solid unit turn, left arm across, racket up, shoulders sideways here, and arm extension. The arm extension, elbow away from the body. Last thing we're going to talk about in this particular video is the stance. You can do a neutral stance, which is stepping in with the left foot. You can do an open stance. That's perfectly acceptable as well on certain shots. The key move is, though, no matter what stance you pick, that your upper body does the very same thing. Sometimes I hear students say, well, if I'm going to hit the open stance, this is great because my shoulders can face the net. Sorry guys, that's not the way we want to do it. Even if I'm going to play an open stance forehand, I have to get my shoulders coiled to the side so I can explode into the ball. So I hope these few tips help. So I'll be posting this video up, and keep an eye out for the video on the second part of the forehand, which is going to encompass the forward part of the swing and the finish. So get out there and start working on your forehand, guys.